Welcome to Occupy for Life. I'm your host Casper. We're here live at the Spokes Affinity Group for the pre-game S17 spin-off weekend anniversary. Welcome to the meeting, everyone. Soon we'll be having this meeting. People are right now facilitating, writing down the information of what's going to be for the agenda for tonight's pre-game. Yeah, that's fine. And that's pretty much it.
What's your URL?
I don't know. It's on the Twitter now. Yeah.
Mic check. Mic check. So we're gonna get started. And we'll go over the agenda second. My name's Amin. And I'll be facilitating. And this is.
Hi, my name's Christina. I'll also be facilitating.
Together, we'll be co-facilitating this AG.
And I'm Tess, and I'm going to be taking staff.
I'm Tess.
Stand and not use mic track.
That's what we want.
Awesome.
That's great. So if we can get closer and cozier, we can just hear each other if we speak and project loudly.
Also, I'm going to be streaming, so raise your hand that you don't want your face to be seen, and I will not stream you.
How does this come to get her first?
Yeah. We got a good section right here.
So just a quick sense of how many people are in from out of town. Okay, that's great. And how many people are already in AGs? Okay. This meeting is about easing people into that process in the lead up for September 17th. The idea is that this is our second year and we've learned a lot and we're excited about the weekend. But we're also excited about direct democracy and horizontality. And we realize that working in smaller groups on the street can make more voices heard. And so this is our real attempt to build capacity in this movement for the next phase. And so we want you guys to be, we want everyone to be patient with us. But we think we have a handle on the situation. And the whole idea is to ease people into different groups so they feel comfortable and heard and are part of the process, are invested in the weekend. How does that sound? Okay. The things that I wanted to cover very quickly is that this AG has been meeting for over a month now in preparation for September 17th. A couple of things are in place. One of the things that are in place is a meetings agreement. The meetings agreement is just how we conduct ourselves during these meetings. And the idea is the same ethos of Occupy. Step up, step back. If your voice is heard too much, make your voice heard less. If you're a person that is a white male, try to speak less. There are a lot of voices that are often not heard. Be aware of patriarchy, be aware of racism, it's in us all, and just try to be mindful of people's time and respectful of each other, not only the process. That's really the agreement in a nutshell. There's another agreement that we have in place, and it's the action agreement for the weekend and largely for September 17th. That action agreement has gone through a lot of negotiation and iteration within the movement and with allies of the movement, and it's now available on s17nyc.org. Please take a look at it. Its general ethos is to be mindful of other people, respect for the diversity of tactics, and really just try to be mindful of your actions, how they impact one another within the zones that will be laid out later. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to quickly go over what we thought for an agenda tonight. We're going to start with the welcome, which I suppose we're already doing. We're going to have a little dance, I think. Austin's going to lead us.
Louder.
Okay. We're also, during this time, going to move people into their affinity groups. And if you're not in an affinity group, that's okay. We're going to organize according to cluster. And if you still don't feel like you have a place to go, we're going to have opportunity for people to get more oriented with what an affinity group is and how they operate. We're then going to have the presentation on what the action framework will be. We're then going to take some time, 15 minutes, in our affinity groups to discuss the presentation, to see how we feel about it, and to come up with any questions. We'll then come back together as a group, report back, and there'll be opportunity for any questions you may have for them to be addressed at that point. We're then going to have another breakout, which is going to be in a larger formation, which is the zones. That will be explained more in the action presentation. And then we're going to end with announcements pertaining to S17 weekend. Cool? Does that sound good to people? All right. So, Austin?
And Becky.
Oh, awesome.
This is our low-key entertainment.
We're going to show you a dance, and the dance prominently features
signals
Thank you.
that we use in the consensus process. Some of you might have done this last week. Some of you might have done it at some other point. Our dear friend Mandolin from Portland, Oregon brought it to us.
So we're going to need you all on your feet. Hup, 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 hup. And here, maybe we can clear some space so everybody can see. All right, okay.
How good place?
Shake out the feet, get your dancing feet on, all that. If there's no dancing, don't want to be part of your revolution, right? So we're gonna dance to make Emma Goldman happy. Want to kick us off? Twinkle fingers, twinkle fingers, twinkle fingers, block. Twinkle fingers, twinkle fingers, twinkle fingers, block. Twinkle fingers, twinkle fingers, twinkle fingers, block. Point of information, direct response, direct response. Point of information, direct response, direct response. Twinkle fingers, twinkle fingers, twinkle fingers, block. Twinkle fingers, twinkle fingers, twinkle fingers, block. Twinkle fingers, twinkle fingers, twinkle fingers, block.
Point of process.
Point of process, point of process, point of process, point of process, point of process. I wanna get on stack. I wanna get on stack. I wanna get on stack. Twinkle fingers, twinkle fingers, twinkle fingers, block. Twinkle fingers, twinkle fingers, twinkle fingers, block. Twinkle fingers, twinkle fingers, twinkle fingers, block.
While we're still up, this is a good time to move ourselves into smaller groups and sit into a spokes formation and figure out people that are with an AG. Please come together in your group. We're going to make a circle around here. If you're not in an AG, and you're working with a cluster, and all that means is just different topics. If you're with people and interested in similar topics, then sit together. If that's not the case, we're going to do a little training. And there's a lot of people I'd like to get a temperature check on this right now. The first temperature check is people that are already in affinity groups, raise your hand. Okay.
S17 or in general? For S17.
For how are you thinking about for S17? Keep your hand up because we're trying to decide the next thing, which is should we have a breakout separate or should we have a brief training in AG and break you out that way as a process? Just as smaller groups. Hand up. Okay. Take a look around, see who you are. Now, I want to get a temperature check on this question. How many people feel patient enough to have a 5-minute ease into a group formation? Is that better? Okay. Does anyone not feel good about that? 5 minutes to break people into smaller groups so that we can all sit in a circle. Okay, that's good. All right. Where's Lisa?
She just got a test.
So what are the
test?
Do you want to do it? You want to?
What are the clusters? Oh, there they are.
As you
So
I see
actually
they
it
have
might be
cardboard now.
helpful for people who are here to know, like, for example, there's an education cluster here. Can you make your own board so that people can come into it? Like, what's the education block? This is a strike type block. People who are here for the strike type block, Come here. So I'm not.
So they're discussing what they're going to be doing.
Meet with the cluster. Amanda.
Okay, could everybody sit down again for a minute?
I'm telling everyone to sit down.
Mic check! Mic check! We're gonna sit down again. We're gonna rewind and start again. Okay. In a few minutes, we're gonna present the plan. And to just give you a little heads up about the plan has 4 clusters already. An eco cluster, a strike debt cluster, and an education cluster, and a 99%. Those are the groups that have been in these meetings organizing, right? You've all been here so far, right? Those clusters. No, wait. I know all of you are not here from before, and some of you are new, and every night we're having more people. But those clusters of people have been represented at the spokes councils to date. Strike debt, education, and environment. And the other ones. Don't get stuck on it, doesn't fucking matter. What matters is this. To make this action as successful as possible, and to make sure you can participate as effectively as possible, and to make sure as safely as possible, and to be really in direct democracy, which we're building, we're asking people for this action to organize into small groups. I don't give a shit if you call them affinity groups, trust groups, action teams, working groups, call whatever the fuck you want. Excuse my language. All right? The purpose
She said
of the
it
small
bleeps potato
groups,
every time she curses.
the purpose of the small groups is that you're gonna know together how you want to plug into the scenario that you'll hear. You'll plan together who's carrying the water, who's got the car bars. You'll plan together who's doing jail support if you get people arrested. And then you'll choose somebody who will be part of the discussion and decision-making process of the spokes. And this is important because we're going to use the spokes in the streets for decision-making. Right, so if we're in a cluster and need to make decisions, we're going to put up a flag, spokes! Right, and people from your groups come around, and then we work together to make what has to happen in those areas, right? So for that to work, we need to build the fundamentals of you working in small groups. I'll tell you something, I worked in a movement where we had hundreds of affinity groups that went on for years. If your group just stays together through Monday and makes your action good, I'd be totally happy, right, myself. We want to make this action successful, but we're building a structure for a long-term horizontal direct action movement. So to break into groups, you want to do the clusters first, right? Like you do call to cluster and issue first, and then you do your groups, and then if you got. So what we'd like to do is let you know the clusters that exist, and if you feel called to that cluster, you're going there now. If you don't feel called to any of that, and you've already got a group, get with your group. If you're not called to any of that and you have no group, you're going to go with me and Dicey, and we're going to work with you about how to make that happen. Does that feel like that could work for people? So who's in the strike debt cluster? Jump up and down and tell us where you're going to go. Strike debt. Hey. Can you pull off? So strike debt's going to go over here.
All right, strike debt.
So education. Who's in education? Education. Right there. Where are you going to go? Education over there. Eco. Who's in eco? Spectra. Eco. Right here. Eco. Right here. And then the other groups were like random. 99% People's Wall. Does any of that have residence for any of you?
There, what's there?
So if the People's Wall and the whole 99% thing, labor, you can come here. People's Wall, labor here. And then if you want to do legal, join the legal support. Legal is here. And we're going to do this quickly to get in groups, and then we're going to come back. So who's unorganized? Unorganized people, come over here.
Actually, I mean, I'm in an AG with ACT UP, so if someone's healthcare oriented, they could come with us.
Healthcare, ACT UP, healthcare oriented, right here. Another cluster, ACT UP, healthcare oriented. Unorganized. Okay, Hey,
Long Island.
who's not? We meet together in Long Island.
So, as you know, they're going into different groups. I might not film that because they're private discussions. So, as you can see, everyone's splitting up into their affinity groups. GA, whatever you want to call them. AG. Sorry. So, that's pretty much it, what's happening at the moment. So, this is what's occurring as we're speaking. So, how's everyone doing? My little 4 viewers. There's a lot of streamers out tonight. So, we're chilling, hanging out. And that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna break down and shout out. All right.